an emergency phone here. And then
I'm really sorry.
Oh no, that's fine.
For you. You got community day going on, and
yeah, I figured it'd be maybe like a little bit.
You got this on tape because you want to know how real life works. George comes over here, swats at a bug, and now I got security here. So that's how it works.
That's good timing, though. Cracker Jack timing.
Can I get your name? I'm George. I'll do you one better than that. I'm running for mayor of Bemidji. All my info's right there.
Beautiful. That works for me.
All right. A community is a living, breathing thing. And a lot of times, I think people convince themselves that the status quo is a legitimate thing, so to speak, that a community is going to be exactly the same 5 years from now as it is today, 5 days from now as it is today, 5 minutes from now as it is today. And I've never subscribed to that theory. I believe that a community is either growing or shrinking. It's either getting better or getting worse every second, every minute, every day, every month, and every year. So I had a great time at Bemidji State University's Community Appreciation Day, and then just afterwards hanging out with the students and the community and the clubs, and there was such a great blend of people at Bemidji State University's Community Appreciation Day. Energy was high. I had a great time meeting people. Just seeing the community interact with the students was just terrific. I'm actually George Prince. Nice to meet you. There you are. I'm Nick. Andy. Nice to meet you guys. Asking is I went to school here and I also graduated from here.
Oh yeah?
I'm George Prince.
Amber Door.
Amber, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I actually worked with your brother.
Yes.
At Target.
Yes.
Jesse. Uh-oh.
This is great.
Beautiful.
All right. Thank you.
We have a common friend and Sarah Young.
Bucky.
Two of those. Hey, Bucky. Looking good. That's me. Do you have a Facebook page?
Tell her that, okay? It's not easy.
I'll tell her that. Yeah, no, I know the realities. Yeah. You're so welcome. It's kind of fun to be on campus again. It's been a little while. Reminded me of the old days with the parking, right? So if you had an 8 o'clock class, parking was no problem. If you didn't have an 8 o'clock class, big problem. And I don't know if they do this anymore or not, but back then, I'm pretty sure they sold more parking permits than there were spots. So even if you had a parking permit, no guarantees. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see it half torn down because, believe it or not, I actually attended a class at Memorial Hall. And this would have been like 1988. It was my freshman year here, and I was desperately trying to get into a freshman English class. But of course, when you're a freshman, you get to register last, and it wasn't looking very promising. So initially, I wasn't able to get in. But they decided at the last minute to actually include an extra session, and it was a late ad, so I was able to actually go to freshman English. And they carved out a room at Memorial Hall in the back, deepest, darkest, dankest corner to do this class. So for one semester, I had a freshman English class in Memorial Hall. Other than that, it was pretty much the place you went through to get somewhere. And this would have been, like I said, 1988. So even back then, it wasn't a building that was really being utilized very much for a whole lot of activities or things like that, just because of the shape it was in and the age. So to see it being torn down and being replaced with something modern that's going to be far more usable, I think is a really, really good thing. So the groundbreaking for the new Memorial Hall was really fun to attend. Ran into a lot of people I knew and got a chance to say hi to them. Amongst them was Carol Nielsen, who's now a business professor, and actually she taught me when I was at Bemidji State in the late 80s, early 90s, and has been a great mentor to me over the years. And in fact, when I worked there from 2007 to 2010, she was the dean of the business college, so I actually reported through her. So it was really great to see her and see she's doing well. I know she's talking about retiring at some point, and it's really going to be a loss to Bemidji State University and to the students when she decides to retire. But I'm definitely going to wish her well because I think it's very well earned.
George, good to see you again.
You too.
Bob, Fitzgerald, yeah.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I've met several of Jason's coaches over the years, and his football coach used to say, I'd just point him at somebody and say, knock him out.
Oh, fun.
You know, right?
That's good stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's the whole circle of life thing, so to speak. So I also got a chance to run into a couple of the members of the Student Senate, which was really great because I was now able to attach a face to a name. And I've been having some conversations with them because I've been asking them if they've ever looked at having a debate between the mayoral candidates and perhaps some of the county and local candidates at Bemidji State University.
Everyone we've talked to about it has been like, yeah, how can we help? Let's get it done. Let's
cool.
Yeah,
get
they're
it.
all excited.
Let's do it. So
So
it's
yeah,
gonna happen.
All
We
right.
just got to get those wheels
Well, I
moving.
remember, my days around the Student Senate, if
Yes.
you want to get something done, usually that's a great group to work
Yes.
with that really
Yeah.
can organize and,
Yeah,
and
thanks for reaching out.
has the feel of the pulse. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll stay in touch, and I'm sure as you pull this together, eventually you'll have show day, and I should be there, right?
Yeah,
So
hopefully.
I better be there.
Hopefully it's a day you can be there.
As a former employee and as a former student, I've always wondered why there isn't a debate at Bemidji State, because there's so many people there that are affected by the outcomes of these races, be it faculty, be it students, and I, of course, am very interested in seeing those students have their voices be heard. So I know that the Student Senate has been looking at that possibility, and I'm certainly prepared to participate if they actually pull it together, and I can only assume that Rita would be as well, having been a former student at Bemidji State as well. So that could be a great opportunity to have two former BSU students at BSU talking about being mayor. So that's really exciting.
We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a minute, everybody, so you can... Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Mackey, Vice President of Administration and Finance here at Bemidji State University. On behalf of the Bemidji State University community, especially our future students, it is my privilege to welcome and thank you all for joining us.
The building represents the vision of academic excellence.
It's really fun, especially recently, to walk by this area and then to say, what's that? And to be able to explain to them what is coming to this university.
Okay, you guys. We're going to do it all. 1, 2, 3.
It's cool. This is going to be a great thing for the business department at Bemidji State University. It's much needed, and I'm very happy to see that it's happening here. And it's been a long time coming, but it's certainly, I think, very well deserved, both for the students, the faculty, and the community. As I've started to think about my campaign and the different events that I've done, everything from the parade to actually visiting people door to door, I've always wrestled with, what would I like to see happen as a voter? Because I've never been a candidate before, so I don't have any great experience to fall back on and say, well, here's what you do in a campaign and here's how you do it. I mean, obviously I have some rules and regulations that I have to abide by, but outside of that, it's kind of wide open. So when I started thinking about knocking door to door, I've been on the other side of the door as just a citizen, and a lot of times when people knock on my door, it's that terrible time. I could just be sitting down to dinner. I could be halfway through a shower. The phone could be ringing and I could be in the middle of a business call, or maybe I just got my kids settled down just in time to sit down for dinner. And it's always really awkward because even if it's a candidate that I really like or that I really support, they're catching me at a bad time, and really I just want to get back inside my house and wrap things up quick. So as I started thinking about going out, I didn't really want to be that person that's knocking on the door and taking up 10-15 minutes of your time that you don't have. And it's almost a little bit embarrassing in the sense that not only are political candidates knocking on the door, they basically say this is a really bad time for you, I'm sure, but let's take 10 minutes and talk about me. I want to talk about I want to talk about, you know the song. And that's kind of how I started feeling about this. So as I started thinking about, well, how could we do this different? How could we introduce ourselves to people and get to know them a little bit and engage, but still be respectful of their time? I started thinking, maybe what we should do is invite them to one spot and answer all their questions at one time, at a time that they can plan for and is more convenient for them. So that's what generated the idea of the community picnic. So basically what I've been doing is going door to door, taking just a minute or two and saying, hi, I'm George Prince. I'm running for mayor of Bemidji. I would appreciate your support. Here's a little information about me. We're having a picnic in your ward on this date. And if you'd like to know more or ask specific questions, I would invite you to come out, attend the picnic and ask me whatever you'd like to ask me. And I'm not gonna leave until I've answered those questions. So we've just had another successful night of meeting people here in Ward 5, knocking on doors and putting down signs. And it's been really, really fun. So many people excited about the race. So many people that are looking for opportunities and looking for fresh leadership and looking for a new and progressive vision for Bemidji. I've had a chance to meet them all tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the picnic that's coming up on Sunday that we've invited them to. Can't wait to see them all. And I've learned a little bit about Bemidji. I've been around for 30 years and I thought I knew most nooks and crannies, but I found a couple of other nooks and crannies I didn't know about. So that was kind of fun. I ran into a secretary from a school at Heartland Christian Academy that I went to when I was in 7th grade, who remembered me and actually had my cutout from the paper and was really excited about the campaign and really excited about voting. So I hadn't seen her in several years. That was Alice Fugelstad, so it was great to see Alice. And it was really fun. You just never know when you're knocking on doors who's going to be behind the door. And a lot of times it's people I haven't seen in a number of years, so that's been really, really good. And I think another night here and we will have all of Ward 5 completed and just be gearing up for our picnic on Sunday. I've never in the history of my life have I gone door to door and knocked, so that was a new experience for me. If it wasn't so dark in the evening, I would have been tempted to say, would you like to buy some encyclopedias or perhaps some knives? But you probably don't want to ask people if they want to buy knives when it's dark out. But it's a little bit intimidating when you first step out, not knowing how you're going to be received and what people are going to think or say or do, but everybody's been really open and positive and receptive. And so that's been really, really encouraging. And that's the Bemidji I've known my whole life, that it's very much an open community, at least as far as giving people a chance, and that's all I ask for. So it's been really, really good tonight. And a big shout out to my volunteers too. I've had a number of them working over the last 2 weeks helping me do this, and they've really worked hard and put on a lot of miles, and got a little bit of a backache and some some leg cramps, but they've hung in there and they've helped me do this, so I really appreciate all their help too. As I've attended the City Council meetings and I've listened to what the City Council has to say, and I've listened to what Mayor Albright has to say on just a whole number of different items and projects, I'm often struck by how every city has, X amount of resources, and they have to prioritize how those resources are used. And for me, quite often I find myself at odds with how the City Council currently prioritizes it. When I look at things like art, I like art, but I love jobs. When I talk about parks or recreational opportunities, again, I like parks, but I love people. And when I look around our community and I see our infrastructure in poor shape and see things like road replacement being on a 98-year rotation, and I see septic lines that are failing and are in need of repair, and I see a median income that's $20,000 behind so many other places in the state, and I see people lacking opportunities, I look at these things and I say this is not an either or. At the end of the day, our community wants great opportunities and great recreation. But if I have to prioritize, I'm always going to choose the things that I love over the things that I like.
Coming up on See George Run.
You just can't throw it here and throw it there, and this is not Edina. This is Bemidji, Minnesota. You know, here we are up in the middle of nowhere, and nobody's got a really good job.
We're going to keep working on that too.
Good, good.
I'm going to run as hard as I know how.
Well, if you need a boost, I'll be right behind you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Wow.
Jay's drunk right now. I got Come on down and feed your face.
She gets it. We need to do something about it.
So in this room is all the stuff that you guys manufacture and send out across the world, right?
Across the world, international.
I believe in Bemidji.
Good.
I'm very excited about the future. You know, I just did this to you. I'm sorry. I went like this, I think. We were talking.
Okay.
All right,
And I was like swatting something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, just leave it as
No,
is.
no, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Usually,
Stop mugging me.
We get an emergency phone here, and then
I'm really sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine.
For you. You got community day going on, and
yeah, I figured it'd be maybe like a little bit.
You got this on tape because you want to know how real life works. George comes over here, swats at a bug, and now I got security here. So that's how it works.
That's good timing, though. Cracker Jack timing.
Can I get your name? I'm George. Well, I'll do you one better than that. I'm running for mayor of Bemidji. All my info's right there.
Beautiful. That works for me.
All right. Tell whoever I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right. You are
Chase.
Chase. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks.